Peace, family. Peace, you and yours. Brother Red Pill in the building, reporting live and direct. Yes, indeed. Before we begin the show, I just want to do a quick commercial. Coming up this Wednesday, March the 31st, only on Zoom. Brother Red Pill will be doing a workshop. I will be hosting. The Evolution will be digitized 2021, starting on the hours of 9 p.m., going into midnight. We will be talking about all things technological that everybody is speaking of these days. We're going to build on NFTs, the blockchain technology. We're going to touch on crypto 101. And we're also going to build on decentralized autonomous organizations. So, shout out to all of the family who have already copped some tickets. If you want to be a member, if you want to be a student in this class, go to Eventbrite and put in the initials TEWBD21. The evolution will be digitized, and get your ticket. All right. And then right after that, family, me and Blue Pill, we are going to be we're gonna be in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, April the 3rd, all right, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That lecture will be entitled Crypto and Crystals. Me and Blue will be building on that today. And then simultaneously, right after that, at the same time, we are also going to be popping up in Chicago. Shout out to all of my Chicago family. The weekend of April 3rd to the 5th. And we're talking about April the 4th. So that's 4-4. We're going to be introducing the 44 Resonance Moorish Time Continuum, featuring Brother Red Pill, featuring Brother Mansa Isa Muhammed, and special guests. All right. And that's going to be in the Windy City, Chicago. Shout out to all of my Chi-Town, all of my Midwest family. The price for that is $50 per day, $125 for all 3 days. You send your Cash App to Sovereign Money, put 44 more plus your email in there, and you will receive all of the details, including the address. So shout out to all of my Chicago family. Y'all been waiting for us to pop up and do something in the Chi, and we're going to be doing something super big. Please don't miss this. This is going to be monumental. We are going to be pouring in uh high level information, high level Moorish information. We're going to be teaching our fezzes off. All right. So be in the building for that. And then we also have April 16th to 18th, Red and the Blue, along with our sister Karma and our sister Rain Supreme Global, hosted by our good brother Araj Nefertum. That's going to be the Elevation. We will be returning with the Elevation series. That's going to be in New York City, NYC. For the family that says they haven't seen us in a minute, we will be in the building. So we look forward to seeing you. Go to Eventbrite for tickets for that and put in Elevation, and you will be able to get it. So without any further ado, family, I want to introduce my panel for tonight. This panel is going to be a monumental panel. We have some legends in the building. First and foremost, I want to introduce my twin brother. You know what I'm talking about? My other half, one half of the twin pillars. Blue Pillar 44 in the building. Peace to the God. Let me unmute your mic.
Yes, indeed. Peace to the family. Peace, love, and light. Brother Blue, Port live and direct. Was good.
Everything, man. Everything. Always us, never them. You already know. And
Mhm.
and also we have in the building a super legend, a super duper legend, our good brother Mansa Isa Muhammad. Peace to the God.
Stuff law. How honest, my brother, honest. You
Yes,
know what I'm
yes.
saying? Definitely. Always a pleasure to chop it up with y'all. You know what I mean? So definitely looking forward to the next weekend's event. It's definitely gonna be special.
You already know. You already know. And last but not least, the legend himself. You know what I mean? This man needs no introduction. He's been burning up the charts. You know what I'm talking about? Doing his thing. Our good brother, Chicago Bitcoin bully in the building. What's good with you, my brother? Islam.
Peace, peace, power, and prosperity. Islam. Assalamu alaikum. How's everybody doing? It's an honor to be on the panel amongst men right now.
You already know, man. You already know. Salute to everybody. Greetings. First and foremost, greeting to the audience. Salute to the audience. We do roll call. I'm gonna do a roll call for the family that's in the building. I love to know where our audience is tapping in from. I'm a big component of connecting nodes and whatnot. This World Wide Web. The reason why we are so effective, huh?
Proponent.
A proponent of just tapping into brothers and sisters from around the world. So we're gonna do a quick roll call to see where the fam is from. All right. So we have the Bronx in the building. Shout out to the Bronx. All right, BX. All right, North Carolina, the 336. We see you. Shout out to the Carolinas. All right, salute.
Where the Windy City at? I know we got somebody from the Windy City in here.
Always is a Windy City. They always pop up. You know what I
What's
mean?
Chi-Town at, man?
It don't take them too long. We got Detroit in the building. All right.
Show up to show out.
We got Mississippi. SSISS. Is that David Banner? We got South Cali in the building, North Philly, Oakland in the building, Clayton County. Don't drive after dark. Don't drive while black. Yeah, Shaker Maxim, Tucson, Arizona. All right. Chi-Town, where you at? The God done called you out. Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, they gonna pop. Ohio in the building. Clayco, Jurassic Park, VA, Tampa, Philly in the building. You already, all right. Shaker Maxim, shout out to the Philly family. You dig? San Francisco in the building. I see you. Okay. Buffalo. Brr. All right. We see you, Rough Buff. Clay, Michigan. All right. Michigan in the building. Clay County in the building. All right. There we go. Chicago, Illinois in the building. That's right. That's right. Stand up. Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Flatbush, Kansas City.
Deep in here.
Altcoin Hunter. All right. Brooklyn, by way of Georgia. Flatbush, stand up. UK, the Mondem. Now we across the pond. All we need is Africa to tap in, and the cipher's complete. All right. Stiff Cliff, Texas. I don't want to visit there, wherever that's at. Jersey City. All right. We see you, Jersey City. The marijuana is legal out there. Light up. Okay. Light up. Oh, he ruined the battle? I ain't even see it. Shout out to the fam. All right. So we are gonna be building on some things tonight. You know what I'm talking about? Pleasanton, California. Okay, wait, real quick. Oak Cliff. Is that in Dallas? All right. Shout out to Oak Cliff. Yes, Dallas, Texas, Louisville, Republic of Panama. So that's the Caribbean. All right. We connected that end of the world. Red, I gotta do a live about Little Nas X. We might talk about that tonight. Detroit in the building. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to the D. Salute to everybody out there. 314 vibes. All right. Columbus. I see you. Okay, so it's safe to say that we are surrounded by the family. You know what I mean? All of the tribe is here. The Confederacy is in the building, and that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. Oh, Oak Cliff is Stiff Cliff. Oh, man. Rising power to Mo 3, man. God damn it. Disneyland, California. West Phoenix, DMV, Cambodia. All right, by way of NC, 704. Murder Copa. All right, West Phoenix. All right, damn. I didn't know it was lit like that. What's going on in Phoenix? Detroit.
Phoenix lit.
Another Chicago. Okay.
Off the boat Santos.
Off the boat Santos. Yeah. How much you got it for? All right. The Wild Hunters. That's
Wild
right.
Hunters checking in.
Checking in. Tap
That's
in.
Folk in them.
That's what's up. That's right. Orlando, Arkansas. Not Little Rock, but Arkansas. Okay. East Oakland. Yeah. We see you. 703 to the 813. Salute all of the comrades. You dig? Oh, Dallas is ready. I'll be out there very soon. You know what I'm talking about? Naptown, Indiana. Yeah, Roy Lee, Mode 3. You already know, man. So yeah, let's get it in tonight, y'all. We are gonna cover a few topics. We're gonna talk about some things that you know, we are going to be presenting at these lectures. Um, First and foremost, before I begin, I just want to know how's everybody doing. I have to always make a mental and a health check, because we are just getting into spring, coming out of the winter. This has been a very rough winter. I had a private conversation with a good friend of mine. I don't want to put his name out there. He was expressing to me how hard this winter was, just energy wise. And I shared with the brother that, quiet as kept, when that shift happened, December 21st, it was also a shift of energy. You know what I'm talking about? It was also a shift of energy, and a lot of people felt that energy. So, I just want to know, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Alhamdulillah, man. Everything's wonderful, especially when you a do for self type of individual. You know what I mean? So I can't complain. Alhamdulillah, man. I'm doing great.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
Appreciate you
beautiful.
for asking.
Yes, indeed.
I'm ignited and excited. It's my first day pretty much attending an event here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? The city is back in high gear.
Woo.
So it's almost like picking up where we left off. But like you said, people did shadow work. You know what I mean? So there's a different level of engagement and enthusiasm. And, everybody's talking about this new paradigm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's tapping in. So it's a beautiful time. Truth
Do
be
you?
told.
Definitely.
Right,
Definitely.
right.
Man, if y'all
Yeah.
could see my face, you'll see the smile I got on, bro, for the way people carrying this torch with this
Oh,
crypto
nah.
now, this
Nah.
NFT world. Bro, is
Dude, they about to build a monument for you
Bro,
before the
put
year
that
is
next to the Jordan.
say it again, Blue?
out. They're about to build a monument for you next to Jordan before the year is out.
Man, bro, it's crazy how the wildfire just caught like it did, man. So I appreciate you brothers allowing me and helping me to push that out there, because a lot of this stems from doing the shows with you, the brother Rich, and everybody that's ever brought me onto their platform. You know what I mean? It's
I
giving me
mean,
a voice to speak. I appreciate y'all.
every
Man,
chance that I get, you know what I'm saying, I tell the story because it's a real story and we can stand on it. You know what I mean? And it's all parts of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? I said that this brother was persistent. You feel me? And when nobody has to be persistent, you know what I'm saying? Somebody can tell you something and keep it moving, and you got to live with that. But you always came back. You know what I'm saying? You always made it your business to at least knock on the door and be like, "Yo, are y'all up yet? Are you woke? This shit, you listening?" So I will never forget that. You feel me? And that's what brotherhood is about. You know what I'm saying? That you're supposed to be there for one another, and that's what consciousness is about. A level of awareness. You feel me? Because of that, yeah, because of that diligent approach that you have continued to take. So not only ourselves, but at this point in time, thousands of families, and hopefully by the end of this year, millions of families will be able to benefit. You know what I mean? From that level of steadfastness and diligence.
I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of that, bro. I appreciate
same.
it. It's beautiful to see. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I digress, but it's beautiful to see, man. The amount of attention the space is getting and the thing that I love about it is that it's not from a misguided aspect. You get what I mean? Brothers are
Right.
being led in the correct way, in my opinion, on how to really financially free themselves utilizing cryptocurrency and blockchain technology.
Bro, me and Mansa be dialoguing and other, you know what I'm saying? Like every conversation that I have now is no ceiling. You feel me? Because we finally get it, and the potentiality factor is just 10x itself. So there's just so much promise that this represents. Going into the future, it's just like we can dream our wildest dream. You feel me? And there's something to catch it. So it's just a beautiful time, and it's really time, like this panel is a mass. It's really time to wave the flag and really marry certain principles together so we can show, what I mean, what the full capabilities are. You know what I mean? So it's just a beautiful situation all around.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to add on to that.
Yes.
We have an opportunity to the way things are going. If you are really in tune with the time that we're in, we're able to take things to another level if we're willing to come together and make it happen, because the tools to liberation is there on every level. The knowledge is there, the expertise is there, the capabilities are there. You got to take into consideration that right after the Civil War, our people came out of the gate creating towns, cities, their own living environments,
Right.
and I think when you take what the brother has been able to, develop a specific expertise in, the brother Chicago Bitcoin bully, um, you know, crypto provides the opportunity to do business with each other without a middleman. And that's been one of the
Fact.
major problems to us being able to come together to do something, because in the very nature of coming together to do something requires in their system that you have them as the middleman, you see, which is a problem, but it has solutions. But the cryptocurrency, the blockchain, all that technology, it allows us to be peer to peer with each other without a middleman. And I think that's something that's very significant that we got to pay attention to.
I want to add on real quick that I was watching a documentary the AA put me on to for a few days now. It's 6-part series, and it really laid out how the central banks took over and became the power brokers and pushed the politicians completely out of the way, right? And basically, without being conspiratorial, they began to run the show, the bankers, along with the social engineers and other, the military complex. So to be where we're at now, and I'm speaking about these days and times, I can't necessarily speak for tomorrow. I could speak for now, and I could speak for where the technology not just is headed, but where it is now, because we have to be presently present and not live in this. And it also spoke about the fantasy world that not just Americans, but the Chinese, the Russians, and other people like the Taliban or the Iraqis and other people who wish to take themselves out of their reality will put themselves in. So if we remain presently present in the now and not wish upon a star and be like, oh, in 10 years. No, right now, we're in a position based off of where the technology is that, like Mansa said, we are able to do business peer to peer, right? We are able to cut out the middleman as much as possible. We can control our destiny. We don't have to live in a fantasy world. We can actualize things right now to take ourselves into a place where, we could begin to plan and plant seeds to get us into a better tomorrow. Now, I want to publicly say as well, I want to thank the brother Chicago for being very consistent. One of the greatest things that you did, in my humble opinion, is when you decided to do your classes, you did it in the morning. For the people who don't, and this was during the lockdown, and I believe you were doing it before that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been doing them classes, man, for probably about a year. No, probably about 2 years now. Like
Right,
consistent. No, since 2019, consistently,
right.
bro.
So when you do something consistent in the morning for brothers and sisters who are trained to have a 9 to 5 mentality, that's a job. Right, 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 right.
They could drop them.
Yeah, he'll be back. But I guess I could pick up, where he left off and
No, you
saying that.
can't. Hold on. Nah, go ahead, Blue.
Is that funny? Okay. Now go ahead. You got it. You back.
What I was saying was for brothers and sisters who wake up, right? Especially people who may be part of this movement and don't have an answer for what to do today. They don't have an answer to say, yo, how could I match this knowledge that I'm getting with my economic prowess? How could I feed these babies? How could I plant for the future other than saying that we won this, we made it, you know what I mean? And just wait for somebody to rescue me. I think it's very critical that somebody gives us information when we wake up in the morning. For those of us who don't decide, even if you're doing a 9 to 5, or if you like, I'm not plugging in, I'm not tapping in, I'm not being a part of the system. This brother was able to provide solutions, like things that you can actually do. And I'm big on, this. I'm not dismissive of speculation, but I know what speculation got a lot of people over the past 10 to 15 years in this community. Speculation doesn't pay the bills, and it doesn't necessarily, strengthen the circle. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in circles of speculation, and it leads to a lot of infighting and all kind of stuff and frustrations and whatnot, and just a lot of bad feelings because nothing is really getting done. So I want to say good, just thank you, you know what I mean, for filling in that void. Thank you as well, Mansa, for what it is, because y'all, yeah, this is a train that we're all on. So we have to acknowledge those who've been riding on this train, those who've been feeding the cold to the train. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all gave us hope with Moors in Court. Y'all gave us hope with the books that you put out, with all the Aboriginal law firm helping to break it down and helping us see things and helping us reinterpret the law and the legalese and things of that nature, and the vision. There's a lot of vision that y'all put forward, and to see the vision blossom and grow fruit, it's a beautiful thing. So we always have to give each other our flowers because we're doing great things. And Blue Pillar, you know what I mean? Your consistency and what you've been doing, especially, your lives that you've been doing. There's a brother that just said that he bought a dot crypto based off of the lives that you've been doing your morning thing. I think you've been tapping into your morning tea and whatnot, giving people the strength to make it through their days and whatnot, and the strength, because you can hear some fly shit at night, but when you wake up in the morning, 8 times
Yeah.
out of 10, you're not retaining that information. You know what I mean? Because the bills and other things is in front of you.
Early inspiration, you know what I mean? The ability to catch them before they make those decisions out there in the world, or before the media starts clogging up, you know what I'm saying, their processing power. So being able to get out there with a level of enthusiasm, you know what I mean? Because I'm waking up to, my wallet getting heavier. You feel me? And
Facts.
more, the every day that goes by, I see it clearer and clearer. You know what I mean? And a new consciousness breeds a new confidence, and
Write it
it's
down.
it's now hard to you know to translate that to the people, so they could see it, they feel it, they could hear it. You know what I mean? And they're definitely tuned in and tapped in, and as a result, yeah, people have been able to break up out of that 9 to 5 mindset. I just was with a brother earlier, and he was like, "Yo, next week I'm firing my job."
Right. That's the new thing.
Skill set. You feel me? So
Fire your boss.
yeah, it's a beautiful
No
thing.
word.
Yeah, but definitely want to get y'all honest though. You know what I mean? Because y'all been real consistent, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm very happy and proud of everything that you brothers have done over the years. You know what I'm saying? And it's been very amazing. So definitely hats off to y'all as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
Indeed.
I gotta say this, man. Just me being on this panel, all you brothers that's on here right now, y'all the cats I used to sit back and watch. Like, many of us do, like stars, like, damn, these guys, these are the people that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I always used to say, man, I'm gonna meet these cats. I'm gonna meet these, but I didn't think that it'd ever be on the even playing field. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I'm bringing something of value to
That's
the
right.
table. It was more so bump head, fist, man, I appreciate you, keep it moving, share my, you know what I'm saying, give you your roses. But to where it's
Appreciate
at right now, where I'm actually amongst you all, bro, it's a feeling like none other, man. So I just want to say I appreciate y'all opening y'all arms, y'all hands, y'all family, and allowing me to be part of it. Each and every one of y'all on the panel.
Indeed, King. Salute. Family, share this live or share this video. All of y'all that are listening, share it, like it, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm talking about? Do your part. You know what I mean? Do your part to make this information travel. Spread it like a rumor. Spread it like a Derek Jackson video. You know what I'm talking about? Spread it like a Derek Jackson meme. Get this thing around, right? So we're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna get into a few things tonight. First and foremost, the first topic that I would love to touch on is the state of cryptocurrency in the world right now. I want to start with you, my good brother Chicago. There's a lot of things going on in the crypto world. There's a lot of every day it's new news. There's some, every day there's a new headline. If it's not NFTs they're talking about, it's a new company buying into the Bitcoin, new investors. This, to be honest with you, 2021, from what I remember, I can't necessarily compare it against other years because in those years, that was the year that crypto was booming the most. You know what I'm saying? But the consistency still exists to whereas 2021, the conversation in this second, and the first quarter has been dominated by technology and cryptocurrency talk. So, can you just give us a quick update as to where things are at?
Man, we're basically at the point now, in my humble opinion, where the transitioning is going on right in front of our eyes, but behind closed doors, if you want to say that, because if you're not in the know right now, it's going over your head. You don't even know the amount of things that are going on in this space. For anyone that's ever tuned in on any of my classes, any of my lives, even just took a look at my page, you can already see the transition and how they are reshaping and remaking and rebuilding the monetary system, the banking system, the insurance system, the way that we handle commercial business right now, right, is being shifted from having to utilize middlemen, counterparties, individuals that have a say-so whether what you do with your own commercial affairs, to you and I can now handle our own commercial affairs between us, and it's just that. It's between us. It's damn near like the days of the old before we had individuals having their hands in our pockets, right? Now, the difference this time is that you have big money coming in. One thing people really, really, really got to look at and listen to what they're saying is these people are scared. Not so much the individuals that are investing, but those that hold control by way of controlling the monetary policy, right? Because they're seeing how out of hand things can and will get if individuals partake in this cryptocurrency and blockchain way of living, because you're knocking out the use for them. You don't need a big brother looking over your shoulder telling you, look, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm only speaking commercially here, even though it actually spills over into other aspects of our lives, right? But just from the commercial aspect, seeing the amount of attention and then the amount of deflection, whereas they're saying, oh, well, the governments are just going to ban this and ban that. I'm going to tell y'all something. In my humble opinion, the banning is only in the mind. That's the only place they can ban it at, if you understand the technology as I do. So it's real critical in these times. I know right now, let me say this. I know people are happy. Prices are going up. Money's being made. Definitely. And this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. Let me put that out there first and foremost. I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. I don't give financial advice. This is just my opinion, only to be used as entertainment and/or educational purposes. But family, take profit when you have profit. Because I'm telling you something, if you haven't been through a bear market, these good times come to an end. They do come to an end. And if you haven't secured yourself in some way, shape, or form, by stabilizing your account or stabilizing your profits or moving them into other assets, be it gold, silver, real estate, whatever the case may be, or just stable cryptocurrencies that can bring you back an interest, you need to learn that part of the game, the hedging part, because these things don't go up forever. You know what I
Right.
mean? So the education part, while it's easy to make money right now, you should focus on the education because they're gonna do what they do, right?
Right.
Let me say this: a lot of people jump in and they're like, "Well, I got it now. What do I need to do next?" And at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell y'all something, family. You really ain't got to do nothing but accumulate. The cryptocurrencies are gonna do what they do, and they're gonna move for you. You don't have to get in here and necessarily trade these things. You're gonna lose a lot more if you try to. Just getting scared of the possible volatility that may and will come. You know what I mean? So just let me say, education is key right now in these days and times.
Indeed, definitely. I agree. I co-sign that statement. The education aspect is akin to gaining power. You know, I don't want anybody to think that the power is in the crypto only, or the power is in accumulation of assets and whatnot. The power is in the understanding of what to do with those assets, how to leverage them. Blue,
Yeah.
I passed you the ball.
I mean, the like you said, knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? And this is really where it counts at. You know what I mean? Because literally what you don't know can hurt you in this space, right? So the whole aspect of autonomy, right, is coming full circle with the conversation that we've been having for 20 plus years about self-governance, right? You have to know how to be your own government. You have to know how to be, you know what I'm saying? Literally, you if you had to stand on your own, can you? And what does that
Right.
entail? So if you're getting rid of the middleman, what does that look like being self-autonomous? You know what I'm saying? What does that look like with you really being the boss and the king of your castle? So you got to delegate your affairs. So you have to learn the ins and the outs. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn the languages. You have to learn the nuances. You have to do your case studies on the usage, of these particular coins. These coins have case usages, they got personalities, they got, whole projects that they're attached to. And to me, those projects represent, almost like the vision of the future. And it's
Now,
malleable, it's very malleable. So how are you
right.
going to take these things and put them together to formulate your vision? You know what I'm saying? How you going to put these pieces together? It's a very unique time where you can like really pull all of these pieces together and formulate a grand vision. You feel me?
Beautiful. Yes.
But you have to immerse yourself in the educational aspect of it because it is a mental paradigm shift.
Definitely. Now, my brother Mansa, over the years, you and your team have been on the forefront of, the sovereignty conversation, um, self-governance. You introduced the collective to the damn, what was the name of that project?
The Noon Project at the time. Yeah.
Yes, the Noon Project,
Right.
right? You put out literature. I want to know, is are these days and times, is this basically your vision coming to fruition? Like, do you see these days and times where more people not only have a more of an understanding of sovereignty, but also have an ability to self-govern themselves? And like we were saying earlier, peer-to-peer interactions have been going, or even, increasing by the day. It's going from speculation, or it's going from ideation to actualization. You know what I'm talking about? So do you see these days that we're in today, the 2021 and whatnot, do you see that as a direct correlation to the teachings that you and the team were putting forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Just on a personal level, my first introduction and the thing that drove me to study Moorish identity and history and Moorish literature and history in general, but then also specifically the topics of sovereignty and political self-determination, was because I had a situation back in the day where the banks did me dirty. Took a lot of all of my money out of the bank. You know what I mean? So that kind of drove me to understand, if you can get, what was it allowing them to be able to take my money like that, right? So then that drove me to understand your personal status behind business and contracts, and that kind of just led one thing led to another, and then boom, I stumbled across all this other information. So my point is that and back during those times with the Noon Project, the vision was that at some point nation states are unsustainable self-governing mechanisms, because they're not designed to feed the needs or meet the needs of the people. They're designed to keep feeding itself so that it just keeps expanding. Okay. So at some point it's going to, because it's a new concept, it was started by the United States. They popularized it. Certain places in Europe had just started formulating the concept of a nation state before them. But the point is that the world would at some point fall into a situation where we were back in the ancient times of city states. And so one of the interesting things about that is that you have these city states that had emerged in the ancient days that are still the centers of trade today. They just have nation states around them. And so my point is that we were discussing that as a people, we would need an identity to unite under, to be able to protect ourselves ultimately. And then to get to the next phase, we would have to create our own living environments, because at some point we have to be in control of the design mechanisms that are put in place for us to survive. If we don't do that, then we run the gambit of being ruled and governed by other people. And the special thing about today is that all of the technology, whether that's building, whether that's banking, whether that's even acquiring land, there's more money on the streets now than ever. A lot of people can't claim to have, they can't claim that they don't have anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of free money out there. So the point is that we're in a unique position now where we can bring into fruition the future. You hear a lot of people talk about Wakanda, but we can literally build our own cities and towns. And I was plugged in with a lot of OGs from back in the day. There was a brother named Manu L. Bay. He was from upstate Canada in Oneida County. The early eco villages that was created in the United States, he set them up. He showed the Europeans how to create them. And remember back then, they were doing local currencies. Remember?
Ithaca dollars.
Exactly. So crypto, you see now, so you see how crypto was so important, because what's happening is government is breaking down. It's not going to be able to take care of everybody anymore. So everything is being privatized. So if we miss out on the opportunity to produce everything we need for ourselves so that we don't need anybody to give it to us, that's where the wealth is at. And then one thing I'll leave you with is there's an article on this website called Big Think, and it talks about how the world is moving back into feudalism, because billionaires are going to be controlling large swaths of land, and their money alone is causing a major influence that's bigger than the governments themselves. See, so back in So in closing, man, everything that's happening right now is a clear indication of everything we was trying to get everybody prepared for. The reason why we focused on the law and the legalities of things is because that's the main area, one of the main areas that our people are in the darkness about. And it's one of the things, and it's one of the tools and major mechanisms that they use to keep us, oppressed and under their thumb. So we wanted to figure those things out so we could bring it to the people, so we could say, look, these are the mechanisms that we can utilize to get free from them on this level, but we got to go farther and create our own, living environments so that we can really maintain that independence.
Dope. I believe you put us on to the Venus Project as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2000 so you already know, anybody who was around back outside back in those days, there was something that came out called the Zeitgeist 1 and 2. And it was sort of like the first documentary that was breaking down decoding a lot of different things.
I remember
and
that.
Yeah, so it was a guy in there named Jack Refresco, who had designed this sustainable dome community in Central Florida, you know, called the Venus Project. So in 2008, right before Obama got elected, I went out there. I set a meeting up with him. I'm like, look, you know, I got these different projects here and I want to do something similar to that. I didn't know you was building that. He said he had that in place since the 60s, right? And when I was looking at the furniture there, the furniture he said he had since the 60s, but the furniture was like the furniture they was using now because he was like a futurist, you know.
Right.
But I tell you something that was real interesting. When I met him, we was talking. He said that he had joined the Ku Klux Klan to disband it. He was able to disband like 10 chapters of the Ku Klux Klan. And I didn't even tell him I was a Moor. He said, you know, Noble Drew Ali tried to tell your people that they Moors, that they, you know, but they wasn't listening to him back then. And this guy was like 90 something at the time. He was like 96 years old. So I found it real intriguing. You know, he showed me this metal that you could bend it up, and if you apply heat to it, it would unfold. And he also told me, said, you know, politicians never solved the problem in existence. It's always been the technicians. So the people that's coming to bring us new technologies, that's a clear indication that, you know, they're bringing liberation tools.
Also, you know, along with liberation, we also will have to point out the Zuckerbergs and the Googles of the world and the Bill Gates of the world, because along with those who come with the technology to help free us throughout history, along with the Nazis and other groups, they had their engineers and their scientists who worked hand in hand with the big banks, you know, with bankers and the social engineers to lock things down. I just read an article about about Baltimore. The district attorney, the sister by the name of Mosby, I believe. They put an article out today, and she said that the city of Baltimore has decided to no longer prosecute prostitution, petty drug offenses, and other smaller crimes and whatnot. And they're going to be focusing more so on, you know, capital crimes and things of that nature. But they said, look, we're going to let the petty crimes fly. Now, I believe New York City also took that approach right after the riots or the uprising that took place in the summertime, where they said that they were going to be hands off. Case in point, I was in New York City the other day, and weed is they're coming to the table with the legalization of marijuana, but you can't tell that to New Yorkers because it's already legal in New York, that because they're walking around smoking it in front of the police. And I also saw where, you know, the biker gangs and whatnot, or the young brothers that are riding on the bikes, they're basically, you know, riding around without, you know, they're doing all kind of things in front of the police. So from my perspective, you know, I feel that the city, the experiment that they call the mega city or the big city or the metropolis, is a failed experiment. Okay. They are basically letting these cities fall apart. Okay. I'm not a fan of defund the police. I'm not saying to fund them either, but I know the political underpinnings to all of that political rhetoric. I'm a fan of, you know, govern your own. I'm a fan of local militias stepping in and policing their own. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of that. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm beginning to see what the next 10 years may look like if things are continue to, you know, if things are continue to decay. Now, and the way that I see it, it's not necessarily going to fall apart. It's going to fall to a point where the people are going to rise up and say, well, shit, send in the military, or send in, you know, like you said, the privatization aspect, or, you know, we're taking our money like the wealthy have already done in New York City. There has already been an exodus of what they call the uber rich and the mega rich. They've gone into places like Connecticut. They've gone into other places like Pennsylvania. They've gone to the outskirts, upstate New York and things of that nature. And they've left the big city. They have the same reports coming out of LA. They have the same reports even coming out of places like San Francisco. People are going into Texas, places like Austin and things of that nature, where there is a militia, you know what I mean, to protect them. You know, Elon Musk and all of them, they didn't take their money to go to Texas just to be, you know, surrounded by people who can't defend them. So we're and on a also to juxtapose that, Akon's coin just went live. Blue Pill posted it. Was it yesterday, Blue? Right?
Yeah, it went live earlier this week. I
Okay,
posted
yes.
it, but about 2 or 3 days ago, it went live to Acorn. Correct.
Right.
So there's
So
a provincial area in on the continent that is utilizing, you know what I'm saying, the coin. So not like a smaller nation state, but a corporation that is large enough to say we operate almost like a mini government. You feel me? So they're
right,
consolidating all of their operations by utilizing this coin as a case study. And they're like, based on the effectiveness of this particular case study, they can now say we can open it up to the rest of the continent.
right,
Yeah,
right,
and the NYPD disqualified the immunity aspect, you know, the fiduciary immunity aspect that protects the NYPD through those insurance bonds. They
right,
canceled that out. They're not legally protected, you know what I'm saying, from you know, from them cases, and law cases and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on. And they're about to downgrade 144 metropolises, right? Metropolitan cities. They're changing the criteria about what it means to become a mega city. So
mm,
that puts in peril 144 cities. They're about to lose their status as a metro, right? As a metropolis. So that means a loss in federal funding. Look, this whole shit is, you know what I'm saying? Sleepy Joe on it. They're not. This is the most unpresidential presidency ever, right? So we're going
uh,
back to a time where there's gonna be, you feel me, almost like no president. Nobody's at the wheel, bro.
right. And when you study places like Russia, when you study China, when you study history, you will see that when you study Germany, when the government was so weak that they had weak knees that they couldn't even climb up the goddamn stairs, dictatorship comes swiftly after that. Authoritarianism and all of these other things quickly follow that, because America needs a strong man. Okay. And they are definitely without that. I would definitely say to look out for Trump in 2024. He's going to probably come in on blazing horses and blazing saddles. Like, it's going to be a landslide if things continue to be the way that they are. Just look at the border. Okay. So I'm saying all of that to say that what would be, and I'm asking this to the whole panel, as a result of what we're seeing, right? Being that we could get ahead of the curve, as we see the fall of America, as we see the fall of the big cities, as we see the rise in violent crimes, the rise in the drill culture, the death culture, the crime wave that's sweeping through Black America, okay, quote unquote. All of these factors, right? The aspect of the quote unquote front line of the new civil rights movement, which is called a woke movement, doing Cadillac commercials and, you know, basically being very blatant with their selling out tactics. I think Tamika Mallory is coming out with a book and Cardi B wrote the foreword. Okay. And Charlemagne published it. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, when it comes to the front line of the civil rights movement, or the black leaders, the new black leaders are from the Breakfast Club, right? They're from Love and Hip Hop, right? And you know, what's her name? Yandy, right? And Charlemagne and all of these celebrities and these personalities are now considered to be the new leaders. And Cardi B could sit in the White House before somebody from our community, like a Dr. Claude Anderson, or, you know, anybody with a solution will get an invite. So my question would be, with the new crypto movement, the blockchain movement, smart contracts, NFTs, all of these technologies and all of these options that we have, what would be some of the smarter steps that we can take collectively? Because I also want to point out the aspect of where America has faltered with their quote unquote in society by pushing individualism, you know what I mean? Versus the collectivism that places like China and Russia and other places are known for, the aspect of individualism where everybody's somebody. You know what I'm talking about? But trying to get people to work together and to see things collectively and to be a union is almost like pulling teeth these days. So my question would be, what would be some of the steps that we can take to begin to position ourselves to have an option to move ourselves into a better place?
And let me say this and speak on this if I may. I was talking to brother Mansa earlier, and we were speaking about the violence in Chicago. Not only what it stems from, but what keeps it moving as of right now. And I was speaking about how the brothers, out here, the brainwashing that's going on. That's actually got my son entangled in it. But looking at my son, I can see myself, right? And
Facts.
see how I was back then when I was brainwashed. And the number one thing that I told him, in my opinion, is that it's the fact that these people have the control of media and the music. And that is the way that you get a message to the world, right? If we look at the whole drill situation, bro, I didn't know they was drilling in Korea and Brazil. I didn't know that drill music was that fluent out there to where it's just a carbon copy of what was created in Chicago. But it's more than that, though. It's like magic. You know what I mean? The way that they're
Right.
able to utilize and control just that aspect of it, right? If we look at music and we look at the fact that everything in the universe, nothing's constant but change, right?
Right.
They've kept music as well as the depiction of us stuck in a state of gangsterism since I was a shorty. It hit that mode and it's still there to whereas it's only the disrespect we're gonna pay for. And the number one thing, think about this, bro. When we understand what currency is and what currency ain't, these people are practically because people get signed for what? Because we want money, we need funding, we want to take care of our people.
Right.
These people are printing money out of thin air and paying people to go out and say, I'm gonna kill everybody, due to the fact that they have control of the monetary policy. With
Facts.
cryptocurrency and blockchain, you don't need to get signed by any of these mafiosos anymore. You get what I mean? You can distribute your music, your media, and everything on the blockchain and get your chop right there. You don't have to swing in one way or another in order for them to notice and want to put you on that plateau. The blockchain is open right now. I've been saying this for years. You can be anything and everything you want to be in there right now because it's so new. Why not try to set precedents within that space versus waiting for them to come over, start doing what they do, and then them be the ones to initiate and be like, well, look, this is what we're going to push on the blockchain and this is what we're paying for. You get what I mean?
Exactly. Right. Right. So you're saying before we allow them to figure out how to, poison that technology or tweak it to whereas they get the upper hand, we could begin to build our own castles so they can't do that, correct?
Yes, sir. Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
That's why it's a must that we take over this space. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
Like,
would also say,
go ahead, bro.
I would also say with this new economy, attention is the new economy. And one of the things that they are also dangling in front of these young brothers and sisters, Generation X and whatnot, is the promise to, to become popular, to be in front of many, many people and to get that they still think that that's a stamp, to have a universal stamp or to have a Def Jam or Interscope, that's like a popularity stamp, but they don't realize that there's hundreds of artists that have been shelved that you never heard about, that you'll never hear about, who basically signed themselves and their likeness and everything over. And, that didn't change anything. So I completely agree with you when it comes to, tapping into NFTs and the blockchain, to basically restructure the music industry, smart contracts, so we could do away with the royalty black boxes and things of that nature. Whereas, you could sign to a label and you could be lackluster in America, but they'll have you triple platinum in Turkestan and you wouldn't even know about that. You feel me? They'll be spinning your records. They'll have your move. They'll have your music in a Bollywood movie, and you probably wouldn't even know about it. And they're collecting all of the royalties. They have the royalty black box. If you don't claim your royalties, it goes to the bigger artists, and they've been doing that racket for a very long time. So yeah, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you. What would that process look like to begin to, like you said, because media is a driving force, social media, even the old guard, which is mainstream media, you know, what would be one of the things that we can do as a community to begin to steer certain artists in that direction?
Number one, it would be the education level and us actually shifting and migrating our people over to these blockchain media sites. If not creating our own blockchain media site where we can distribute the content and allow individuals to get a return through the use of the choice of cryptocurrency that we put on the platform. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's only through education that we're gonna do any of this, bro. We got to be able to teach the people and show them how to use these platforms. Because I mean, I've been saying Steam it for years, DTube for years, DLab for years, library credits for years, and I got things over on them platforms. I had a decentralized Patreon page, whereas
Right.
you could only pay with Bitcoin. The payments come directly to my wallet. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it grows with the value of Bitcoin, and nobody can shut the page down. Those type of things is what we need to migrate our people to. And like I say, it's it's cool to use what's out here, but it's so much greater if we can get together and create our own. And we ain't gonna have a choice like this. Not a choice, excuse me. We ain't gonna have a chance like this again, bro, for a while. Not in our lifetime, the way it is right now, with what we can do with this technology. We ain't gonna have it again, man.
Right.
Indeed, indeed. I just wanted to add on to what y'all discussing. You know, yeah, everything you said is 100%. But I also want to caution our people that we gotta walk and chew gum at the same time. There's a virtual world that's being created that is once in a lifetime experience that we definitely need to be in on. But if they want to bring us into this virtual world, what are they doing in the real world that they distracting us from? So I think we gotta do both. We gotta use both because that to me everything is about winning. We have to get liberated because they're creating another world on top of a world we haven't even been free in. You see what
Mm,
I'm saying? So
right.
so this new world, we definitely can't be late to the party there, but we got to start thinking outside the box. We have to start visualizing a world and a reality that's different. If we don't do that, there's several ancient books that say people perish for.
Lack of knowledge.
And the whole point is, look, the government's crumbling. At the end of the day, you got to get this stuff economically right and politically and legally right because this whole defund the police, it's all a ploy so that they can bring in the privatization. The privatization is going to bring in the automation, the robots, and the AI so that they ain't even going to be dealing with humans anymore. You know what I mean? Right now, you said there's nobody at the wheel. There isn't. It's all being ran by algorithms. You see what I'm saying? So the
Facts.
whole point is we even got to start looking at the different ways. Like I said, if we get into just looking at producing everything we need for ourselves, then that's where all the power's at. Because the brother Blue Pill put me on to this Zimbabwe brother who created his own energy source. He's selling like a battery pack. It could power 12 homes. They talking about the reason where he was just talking about where they rezoned where what could be called the city. Like if you go for a USDA loan, they'll give you the money to build a house and get the land to build the house on, right? But it got to be in a city. It got to be in a place with 50,000 or less residents. So they just moved it to 100,000 from 50,000. So that means they're claiming more territory as rural area. You see what I'm saying? They're redesigning these cities. These cities are going to be death traps filled with automated robots that's doing the policing by private companies. You see what I'm saying? And if you're stuck in that situation, you didn't get into the virtual world. Like the brother told me about Ready Player One. I didn't get to watch it yet, but I did see the beginning. And in the beginning, they were stacked up in a crazy city. You know
Trailer
what I
Park.
mean? Trailer Park City. You see what I'm saying? And they plugged into this reality to get away from the reality that they was in physically. You see, for an opportunity to create a better reality in the physical world. And we got to understand with quantum computer and quantum physics, it already breaks down that this reality we live in is a simulation anyway. So the whole point I'm getting at is every tool that exists for us to create a new reality exists. Even when we look at the sustainable materials, like number one, I seen somebody in the chat say something about, oh, you know, you got this whole thing about buying back your hood, staying involved in your hood. Most of these cities are about to be wiped off the map. This is just the reality of it. You can look at the rise in sea levels. You can look at this is stuff that's been out for decades. Information about how things is being redesigned with just climate. I know there's an agenda on the liberal side to push Agenda 21 and all those different things, but even those agendas are based on real science that has already been discussed, that they're saying we're going to make these moves so that we can stay on top for the next 100, 200, 300 years. When you're talking about countries that are strong, like China got a masculinity project that they're doing with their boys right now, that they got a masculinity training camp. You see what I'm saying? While the US is doing the complete opposite, right? So what you got is you got Russia, China, and all these other countries that's beefing up. They'll take over. They already did the war game scenarios. They already got the movies out there. They already got the video games out there that talk about how the U.S. gets taken over. And we already know from the fall of Rome, the fall of Greece, and all these other historical empires that when they start getting morally decadent, that's when they're at the decline. You know, so I just want to add that to the discussion. You know what I mean?
Blue, did you want to add on?
I think that you know, the majority of everything that's been said here is on point. You know, we just need to, like the brother said, we have to understand that this is a race. You know what I mean? While the introduction of decentralization is on the table, they are also attempting to consolidate centralization in decentralization. You know what I'm saying? The race will never let up. You feel me? And you know, with them saying, "Oh, we're gonna have 200 million jabs by the end of 100 days," that's 2/3 of the population. You feel me? So these agendas are still being scaled. These agendas are still seemingly, you know, pushing and pressing forward. So it's not enough just somebody to say, yo, I'm learning crypto and I got bread in my wallet. It's like, oh, what's the play? You know what I mean? What's the power play involved in that? How do you become 100% autonomous while the opportunity is available to you? You know, how do you parlay proceeds into a power play? You know what I mean? How do you get and secure your own land? How do you get and secure your own means of transport? I'm saying all of these things that are, your food source, all of these things that are going to be necessary and a necessity if you don't want to have nothing to do with these people, right? Because if you play in their game, they're gonna have a sticky trap involved. You feel me?
Right.
They are sore losers, bro. They not finna be laying down and just be like, oh, y'all beat us at our own game, right? So I mean, let's just be very mindful and very strategic with what it is that you know learning this information and being visionaries and seeing how we're able to think far into the future, 10 and 15 steps ahead. We have to start implementing those particular moves, though.
I mean, I could give out some just to look at our political and legal status as it relates to the United States, you know, because at the end of the day, no matter what moves you make, if you're saying you they property, then everything you own, everything you produce, everything that you ever is you're gonna do is owned by them. So that's the number one way they're able to enforce their will, because of the contracts we got that say we they subjects. So that's why I'm always a person.
Screen frozen.
So I'm good now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, pardon me. So my thing is that it starts there. Now, again, just because it starts there, don't mean that's the only thing you got to do where it starts at. Because everything we so far behind, we got to do everything simultaneously as a people. And I'm not one of the people that think we need to try to wake everybody up and save everybody. There's a lot of people that know what time it is. The way this culture is, even online, is you seek out those that got the same mentality as you and the same interests as you. Y'all come together, create communities. It's nothing to buy land in especially in the South. That's what I would encourage our people to come back to. Come back to the South. Most of us migrated out to where we was at from the Great Migration in the 50s and the 60s. The land is cheap in the South. The bottom line is you get yourself a good water source, get you some people that y'all believe in, y'all want to build a community, use the sustainable technologies out there, use your crypto to hedge your losses, get real assets, learn the basics of life, hunting, fishing, trapping, shooting, defending yourself, living healthy. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The people with the money, that's what they consider luxury. They don't consider all of this
Facts.
other stuff we doing a luxurious life. They consider having a good quality of life a luxury lifestyle. So the whole point is it's enough people that know what time it is. You know what I mean? All the technologies, you can build something sustainable and still have it looking like $1 million for cheaper than it would be if you went through the conventional way. If you want to know stuff, it's really all you got to do is search.
The internet.
Get your bread together, get with people of like minds. You know what I'm saying? Build y'all a community. It's not as hard as you think. We're in the process of it right now, me and my team. You know what I mean? That's what I discuss with these three brothers all the time about a community we literally working on building. Now, when things are done and things in place, we'll have something tangible that we could point to. But meantime, in between time, if you in position, that's the way you need to be thinking. You know what I mean? You don't need to be thinking about how I'm going to save my city. That's not happening. You got people hooked on drugs. You got people that's trying to escape the reality they're in. You know what I mean? You can stay there and try to save them and die with them, or you could get with the other people that's awoke already and know what time it is and say, look, this is what we're going to do to preserve ourselves. Remember, the first rule of nature is self-preservation. If you're
Fact.
not into the actual things that are preserving yourself, then you asking to get all of the things that's coming your way. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to add that to it. You know what I mean? That's just some things real quick that could help tune our minds on how we need to think and how we could put all this stuff together. Because like Red said earlier, this country is built on individualism. And because it's built on individualism, everybody thinking I gotta do me, I gotta do me. Yeah, everybody gotta do what's necessary to preserve themselves. But every group that's successful works as a team. Our people are big on sports. We love football. We love basketball. We talk about this team, that team. All we got to do is take the stuff we learned in sports and apply it in real time. And that's the winning formula. It's really not that hard.
Yeah. All of those the key thing about team play or team sports is that, a team is only as strong as their coaching staff as well. And when we look around in our communities, and when we look around in these organizations, I would say that we are facing um we're facing a crisis because, over the last few decades we haven't had the right coaching. um we spoke about the power of music. We spoke about the influence of music. We could get into the esoteric metaphysics of music and, historically what it meant, right? And why, when we look around in our communities and whatnot, we could see that there may be evidence of, a spell being casted, or people who may be appear to be under a type of spell, to whereas, mentally they can't, basically they don't have the vision. They have a blockage on their quote unquote third eye. You know, they're not visionaries. They're basically being led and programmed. And, you know, whatever the hottest song is or whatever the hottest trend is, you know, everybody's preparing for a hot girl summer. You had the white boy said it's going to be a white boy summer. And then when I read the comments, it was nothing but black women co-signing that. You know what I mean? The shit was preposterous. I laughed it off, and then I went and read the comments. This is Tom Hanks' son. I thought Tom Hanks was a pedo. You know what I mean? But they on, you know, they on Tom Hanks' son's tail. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So, you know, I understand what we were saying about, you know, taking over the independent market with the music and whatnot. But what would take what is it going to take to shift the culture or to disrupt the culture, because we are in the age of disruption. Blockchain, Bitcoin, DeFi, all of these are identified as disruptors, right? So where are our disruptors in the culture? You know what I mean? They would say that last year's uprising and whatever took place during the George Floyd thing was a glimpse of a disruption, right? But that got put down by WAP. You know what I'm talking about? That got put down by the music. You know what I'm talking about? That got put down by carnal desires and lust. You know what I'm talking? People went to go screwing. You feel me? So, what would you say would be what would be a response, or what would be a counter? Because when you study the history of America, I would encourage the family to study counterculture, right? And when you study counterculture, you know, I would say that we are in counterculture right now. I would say that the LBGT movement is counterculture. I would say that the whole aspect of what Little Nas X video, that's counterculture. You know what I'm talking about? I would say white boys rapping is counterculture, you know, but what aspect of counterculture that we control, that we have our hands on, can we implement to begin to end some of the things that we see that are in the culture that has a grip on our people?
I think a lot of times, expect y'all brothers included, and a lot of brothers and sisters that's out here making moves over the years from just being observant.
Hey, if you can't spin
How
it back, bro,
the
it cut you out. If you can't spin it back, I want to hit a whole whiz.
Okay, all right, no doubt, my bad. All right, so what I was saying is, I think brothers and sisters like yourselves don't give yourself enough credit, because that counterculture, I believe, and I know it to be KTL, America's Bitcoin Bully, all of the things that we're doing, because I've watched for a decade and a half the music and the entertainment industry shift to adopt what was being put out on an underground level. You know what I'm saying? From 2010 to now, you know, they shifted and incorporated these elements into their entertainment, into all the things they're doing, so that they can get some of the energy, because people were starting to get tired of the stuff that they were seeing. They were coming to a different level of knowledge, right?
Right.
So my point is this: supporting, more people supporting the people who know what time it is, have to support the brothers and sisters that are doing the counterculture, because you're not going to be more famous. I don't think the goal should be to be more famous than what Hollywood has, because
Right.
what they have is they're selling an illusion. They're selling this illusion that you can have it all, no matter how many of the celebrities come out and tell you you can't have it all. It's a lie. It's this. It's satanic. It's this. It's that, and the third. People are always going to sign up for that, just like it's a sucker born every day. You're going to
Facts.
always find somebody that's out there that's easy to scam if a person is a scammer. So the whole
Facts.
point is that I don't think the solution is to try to compete with that. I think the key is, when you even talk about crypto, one of the things is decentralization. The decentralization of things is what depowers everything. And I know for a fact that the technology alone that has come out, has caused Hollywood and a lot of these other entertainment industries to lose money. They're
Right.
losing money. This is why you see they're
Facts.
ramping it up. They're ramping it up because they're losing money because the technology is making them irrelevant. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think it's already happening. I think, see, the more outrageous, the more crazy, the more in your face, the more bold it is, the closer it's coming to its end. This is like
Right.
it's like a animal when it's in a death throes, when it's cornered and it's about to go out. It's going to put its worst and meanest lashes out there because it's
Start
about to die.
waking.
Exactly. That's
If
what I
we
think.
look, yeah, if we look at the areas of control and power, Claude Anderson speaks on it, Neely Fuller speaks on it, right? Those particular 9 areas. If we list those 9 areas and we look at what's available now, the alternative that the universe has already provided that counters that, right? So those things just need to be powered up. You know what I'm saying? They need to be highlighted and emphasized to be like, look, this is how we could put those models together and kill that system. So like Mansa was saying, what they sell is glamour, and glamour is aspirational, right? So it
Right.
don't matter what nobody come and tell you about glamour. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's still gonna aspire to it. So they hear everything that you gotta say and still be like, I want that glamour. Even if 2020 showed them without the lights and the cameras, the glamour don't amount to nothing, right? Them fucking they stars look mad shabby. You feel
Right.
me? Without the assistance of artificial light. So
Filters.
yeah, filters and artificial lights, right? So what has to be rivaled, with that is just real shit. You know what I mean? Like food, clothing, and shelter. If you can show a system that provides that and it has a hint of futurism on it, right? That it don't look shabby, it don't look like a shack, and people is
Right.
happy and they're living and being progressive, and there's a level of intelligence that's present. I'm telling you that shit is going to erode because this shit is going down. It's gonna go down fast, right? Give it 5 or 6 months, and the people are gonna be looking for somewhere to go because government is not gonna be able to hold them up. You feel me? When they catch up and figure out that there's nobody at the wheel, you know what I mean? And this thing is moving towards a level of automation where there just could be a virtual prisons to this shit. They're gonna be looking to break free. But like Mansa said, you know what I mean? It's also cause for people to have their level of status and documentation taken care of. You know what I mean? Because you can't be harboring nobody else's slave.
Right. Does anybody in this panel know or are aware or have been made aware of any incubators or accelerators where melanated people have gotten together in their cities to basically, bring the coders and the app developers, the engineers underneath one roof to basically troubleshoot and to, come up with white papers and things of that nature?
Well, I know of I have a few people that I know that are working on certain things like that.
Right.
There's smaller incubators, but nothing on the scale that you're talking about. And the only thing I know on the scale that you're talking about is something that I'm working on currently right now. It's called the Mansa Project. When it's ready and complete, we definitely, will want to present that. But I think that I think that there's an opportunity to bring these smaller uh, incubators that
Right.
because they're like focused on compartmentalized issues, not like the grand issues that we can all bring together. Say, look, these are the kind of applications and systems we need to combat this field, this field, this field, and that field. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
think it's opportunity there to bring that together. Some of it exists. I know a few of it. I'd definitely share with you after the show. But other than that, I think there's just opportunity to spearhead that, which is something that I think is necessary, and I'm working actively towards happening, because if that takes place, you get the problem solvers in one location or one situation, and they're actively working on how to create. Because right now, right, there's a thing called DSAM.
Hold on, your mic froze.
Oh man,
You back?
I am my fault.
It froze when you said descend.
And D Sound is pretty much you upload your music to it, and you get paid in crypto when it gets streamed, right? But the system isn't really functional like that. So it's really based on who could come and make a functional streaming service on the blockchain. Because
That
whoever does that beat Spotify, you beat Apple, you beat all of them.
right. That's descend right there.
Yeah, D dot sound, I believe it is. It's based on it's based on the Steemit blockchain.
Okay.
Hold on, now. I'll get it for you.
And Bitcoin bullies, he's been a proponent for the Steemit blockchain for years now. I remember the brother was definitely standing on that for years, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And let me say this too about the incubator, right? That's one reason, underlying reason that I've been holding these classes in Chicago because I'm attracting all different shapes of life coming through. So, after the cameras cut off and after the class is over, we sit there and build, and these people come to me and they tell me what their specialties is, what field they working in. So I'm able to really cherry pick the certain individuals that we need here and there just from hosting these certain events and having the people come through because a lot of individuals that have the skill levels we need aren't knowledgeable about the amount of things that are in this space that they could have created, like the D sound. A brother might not even fathom, damn, we can create our own streaming network on the blockchain. You know what I mean? Till you bring it to his attention. So that's
Right.
why my biggest thing has always been to push this information because you never know what light bulb you're gonna turn on in somebody's head. Like, well,
All
damn, I
day.
can do that. Well, I can, you know what I'm saying? So that's the part I've been playing on my side.
I would before we change subjects, I would just ask the panel, is the idea of an incubator slash accelerator slash think tank something that you feel that is needed in this day and time to consolidate information and skill set in order to come up with solutions and hacking, and I don't mean hacking to whereas we've been taught hacking, like somebody breaking into something. I'm mainly speaking about solving a problem, hacking a problem, like life hacks, brain hacks, and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that's paramount. I think that's one of the important pieces and pillars, no pun intended, to the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because you have to get uh so you see how they talk about there was a brain drain in Africa. You know, that's like in the 2000s. There's like, oh, all these Africans are leaving the best and brightest, but some of them going back. The
Right.
we're not suffering from a brain drain among our people. We just suffering from not coming together, and that's the solution. So a think tank will bring our best and brightest minds. Because let's keep it real. You'll get a couple of coins working for the major corporations, but they're gonna kick you to the side anyway. You know, when you look at all of the stuff that was invented, we pretty much invented everything as slaves and under oppression. So the question is not can we, it's just about getting us all in the same place so we can solve that. So I think that's definitely needed. You know what I mean? I think we can't get to the level we need to get to as a people without doing that.
Indeed. Indeed. Blue, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. You know what I'm saying? Because the space is moving at the rate that it's moving. And like Mansa said, to really maximize, you have to do things simultaneously. You feel me? You
Right.
got to be studying all of this at because it's quantum. It's not either or, it's quantum, it's both. You got to be able to do it all right now. You feel me? This is the chip. This is the chip of the chip. So you got to be able to share notes, compare notes. And then you also have to have teams in place that can take these ideas that we come up with now to say, look, I have an idea of how I can implement a disruptor in this system. You feel me? I got a $1 billion play. You feel me? I got a this play, I got a that play. So like they said, we don't have a shortage of brains and ideas and concepts and thoughts. But now, how do we put them into a system, right? So the only, I'm like, my whole shit is about industry. You know what I'm saying? How can we disrupt the industry? How can we come up with something that can challenge their institution, right? Let's look at where the weak spots are at that need remodification. Those three things I just mentioned: food, clothing, and shelter, right? You can play on all of them. All of them is on all of them are vulnerable right now.
Right.
You feel me? But then there's opportunities, like case in point, in I'm sure Chicago crypto, you probably seen this. Unstoppable Domains, they had a sale the other day, right? For premium real estate, digital real estate. And the first one they did, it was like houses, rental.crypto, houses.crypto, you know, everything in the housing market. Then the next day or the next 2 days, they come out and tell you, yo, somebody just sold a property for 500K in a digital space. It wasn't a physical crib. Now I was telling people on my live, I'm like, yo, if you got somebody that got a statement, you got somebody in your family, some of them sites was going for 100K, some was going for 25, some was going for 5. I'm
Right.
like, snatch that up. That's a whole business. You could have just charged somebody to put listings on your houses.crypto and made your money back, or you could have sold one crib. You feel me? Because if somebody can buy a Tesla in crypto, goddamn it, what you think? They're not coming to buy cribs in crypto?
Right.
So it's just regular shit like that. We just need to put our minds together to be like, yo, we can't afford to miss opportunities like that.
Not at all.
Indeed.
Not at all. And I'm
I,
glad you hitting those points, brother Blue. I'll go ahead, bro.
No.
Parks.crypto. Club. I mean, yo, they just giving this shit away right now. In the education, like you said, it's not solidified. It's still like that pie that you put in the oven. The shit smell good, but the inside is not all the way cooked through. So our people are not totally getting it all the way where they like, look, man, I might still be in school, but I'm finna jump on this opportunity because I could see a play when I see one. So we have to furnish our people with a new set of eyes to realize and witness opportunity, and also to be like, yo, that was a good idea. We need to move on that. You feel me? Because the ideas are gonna come. We don't want to
Yeah.
be late, man, and left behind because we got a hella a catch up game to play. But we can quantum leap. You know what I'm saying? If we
Mm-hmm.
really figure out to say, yo, let's create a quantum brain, right? And a quantum brain is one in which you utilize two or more brains together. That's quantum. What you
Right.
call it? Told us that. Think and Grow Rich, dude. Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon with the mastermind.
Minds.
Yeah.
And let me add this, bro. Time is really of the essence. When we speak on domain names, digital avatars, getting your own digital identity. When I first started posting some of those Decentraland names, when I was trying to really push it, those names were going for $6, $7, and $8. Those names are
Right.
now 80, 90, and $100. So
Right.
slowly but for surely, you're getting priced out of being able to participate within this new economy that's being built. You know what I mean? And the longer we take, the higher the prices are going to get, the less interesting they're going to look to individuals because of the prices of it. It's like the land that he's speaking on, right? Bro, I can remember when land was going for $500, $800, $1,000. Now the land 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, 20. You know what I mean? And these
Right.
are parcels that, I mean, bro, it's like, you ever had something that was so important that you knew, like, man, if we can just get this is gonna change everything, and it's right in front of our face, bro. These things is like video games for the taking. That any and everybody in the world, all you need is a smart device and the internet, bro. You can plug in and really tap into this new economy and get ahead of the rest. Anybody, listen, anyone that's dealing with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, right? If you're just buying and holding it, that's cool. You got your foot in the door. But for those cryptopreneurs, those crypto knots, those individuals that are creating and buying the NFTs, that are diving into the whole banking system, utilizing collateralized loans, taking their stimuluses and putting them into a money market account, borrowing the money to go buy the NFTs. Bro, y'all are the ones that are going to make the difference, and y'all are setting yourself ahead of the rest of society by at least 10 years. Even though it seems like they ramping it up and, oh, everybody's doing this and doing that. I'm telling y'all, bro, ain't nobody over here yet. Not the way that they try to make it seem. Nobody's over here doing anything, bro. We ahead. We are building the cart that the horse is going to pull for us. You get what I mean? But at the same time, we're plowing the land that the horse is going to go across for us. And we got the ability to lay claim to a lot of a lot of things, bro. We usually Johnny come late. Anytime anything innovative comes out, we Johnny come late. We picking up the scraps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, based on what you just said, with the documentary that I was watching, right? AA put me onto it. The name of it is let me see. Let me get the name of this documentary. Right? In the documentary, it was very interesting because
can't get you out of my head.
Can't Get You Out of My Head, and the director is a very famous director named Adam Curtis. He's done multiple documentaries over the years. It's a 6-part documentary. Adam Curtis is the director. Can't Get You Out of My Head, right? And it touched on two individuals, one by the name of Kerry Thornley and Greg Hill. Kerry Thornley and Greg Hill put out a book in the 70s called Operation Mindfuck. Has anybody ever heard of Operation Mindfuck?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Operation Mindfuck is when Mr. Kerry Thornley and Greg Hill introduced the Illuminati into the conspiracy theory ecosphere, right? They planted the story about the Illuminati, and these were the ones who were responsible for that. Fast forward to the 80s, or rather the 70s, underneath Richard Nixon's administration, there was a man who goes by the name of Roger Stone. Okay? Roger Stone and his organization was also responsible for taking other conspiracy theories and planting them, okay, into the psyches of Americans, right? So it showed how these Europeans were socially engineered, and according to Kerry Thornley, they were like, yo, we put out that theory because it was so absurd that we didn't really ever think that nobody was going to believe that shit. You understand? That there was this secret group running the world. And Kerry Thornley was very cool with Lee Harvey Oswald, who wound up allegedly being the person who killed JFK, right? So when we have these conversations, I bring that up to say that when we have these conversations in our community, when we bring information to our community, when we are, on the quote unquote edge, or when we're the forerunners and whatnot, and we bring new information, new technology, new visions to our people, we always wind up running into these brick walls of the conspiracy theorists and the people who would rather be speculators or spectators living in a speculative mind state where they're like, oh, and they're so pessimistic about everything because all they know is Illuminati, somebody's out to get you. There's people running things and not allow, there's always this, these reasons for people not to exist.
The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. And they use what they've learned on the internet. You have the QAnon movement. People didn't even want to move. They didn't even want to do anything with themselves. They were just waiting for Donald Trump and Steve Bannon to save them and whatnot. They thought Ivanka was going to pull through. Come through, Ivanka. Shit like that. So what do we say? because all four of us, we're in a unique space, right? It's not like we're talking to the knuckle draggers. It's not like we're talking to church people. We're talking to the conscious community, and the conscious community are knee deep in conspiracy theories, and those conspiracy theories have been known. And I could speak like this with the compassion, because I remember when it had me stagnated. My tires were flat. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to produce. I didn't want to be responsible for my children, because I was encapsulated in the conspiracy theories that told me that, oh, 2020, Y2K, 2012, the world is getting all of this dumb shit. So how do we break through to the neophytes and to the young students? I'm not judging anybody that's out there that's in the conscious community who are mentally retarded or, somewhat frozen because of conspiracy theories and bogged down. All I'm saying is I understand your frustration. I understand your pain, because I've been there before. How do we break through to our people and get them past this not wanting to be, parts of anything that's outside of the conspiratorial realm?
I feel like, well, not feel like. I think that I think some things is you're gonna have it regardless, you know. So there's gonna be those type of people regardless of what we do. But I think the main thing what we have is seeing is believing. I think those who are in positions of leadership like ourselves and others have to come together to do something to present it to the people and give them hope and faith. Like we confront and say hope and faith and all these things don't matter, but when what's the first thing people do when a disaster strike? They start praying. They ain't prayed in years, but they start praying. So we already know quantum physically that what the what whether you want to call it prayer, whether you want to call it hope, whether you want to call it imagination, creativity, these things have a direct effect on the environment. So I just want to say that for starters. But
Right.
secondly, the reality is that with all of the chaos going on, I think the people have to understand that until you're in the grave, you're still alive, and so you have a life to live,
Right.
regardless, until you're in the grave. So to be frozen with fear, see, it's really fear because they don't see a way out. You see, when they don't see how they can get past their current condition, because one of the main things that stop people with the conspiratorial thing is it's just another form of escapism. It gives them an
Right.
opportunity to say, this is the reason I don't need to do something or I don't want to do something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of times they got to see the options that are out there. You know what I mean? For them to overcome that phase. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the things I think is I think just continuing to do. I think bringing tangibility, like the brother Bitcoin bully, bringing tangible solutions forward and reachable goals. You know what I'm saying? I think is goes a long way in helping that.
And let me say this: you really hit it on seeing, right? Not only do they have to see the options, bro, they got to see the results of what we're doing. Like we can talk all the shit we want, and this, that, the third, this is working, but if they not seeing what people are benefiting from, none of it
Yes.
matters. We got to be able to
Fact.
show them that we're getting results out of what we're doing out here. And if we can't show that, it's gonna fall on deaf ears, man. So it's really just about putting the work in, leading by example, but being able to see the results of that example, not just play.
Right. Not just
Absolutely.
speculation, not just talk.
Absolutely. Real quick, Red, you got somebody in your chat, Surgeon General. He said, really, these platforms be our think tank. And see, that's what I want to get across. Like sometimes we get into this thing of we have to do something and don't realize we're doing it already.
Already. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So that was a dope comment.
I'm more so speaking about consolidating some of the sharpest amongst us who reach out. When I do the roll call, there's people that's living in El Segundo, Boise, Idaho. You know what I mean? And they're geniuses. And they're surrounded by, no options. They feel like they need to be in Atlanta. They need to be in Harlem. You know, they don't realize that the internet is the new city, the new university, you know, and they're like, yo, I want to add on. I want to bring my expertise to the table, you know, and I have a vision in my mind of, you know, developing an incubator through the Facts Initiative. I have the vision to, you know, one day be able to tell brothers and sisters, look, you know, we're gonna go away for about a weekend or a week to the island somewhere and basically do what the Europeans from Silicon Valley did to create those white papers that, you know, gave birth to DeFi, Bitcoin, these apps that we use and things of that nature. They basically go and they have powwows, you know, they go into the nature and whatnot, and they, you know, they tap in. However they do, whatever they do to do that, that's what they do. But one of the things that I know that we can do and that we will do is be able to harness the collective genius that is amongst us and create. It only takes one time to do it, you know?
So I
It's not
think
going to be thousands of us.
right. I think first step, like I'm a like a practical person. So anytime I hear idea, my brain automatically thinks of what's the steps involved to get from A to Z. So I definitely think with your facts initiative, especially, you know what I'm saying, that becomes a bridge, you know what I mean, into things like what the brother Bitcoin Bully is talking about. You could create a virtual space for these creative geniuses until the physical space is created, because see what they're saying to you, that yearning to be in community. We still human, we still
Right.
physical. So even if we meet in a virtual world, we still going to want to meet in the physical world. You see, so that sense of wanting a community is what, you know, it has to be developed. Meantime, in between time, we use the NFTs, the virtual worlds, the digital real estate, all of those components to create the spaces where the creative geniuses and intellectual geniuses and computer geniuses can get together and collaborate in that space, so that then we take the models, because what that does is it gives you a space to create prototype things before you even bring it into physical
It's a
reality.
physical, right,
So
right.
by the time you bring it to physical reality, the specs is already perfected on it. Everything is already defined. Even when it comes to building these communities, we could build them there first and then build them in the physical world. You know, so I definitely think that's an option part.
With that being said, I have to plug the young gods that are doing the damn thing in the virtual realm, and me and Blue and others have been a part of that. The biggest crypto play ever. All right, the biggest crypto play ever. The brothers have they exist in multiple virtual worlds, OpenSea, and in other places. We have a Discord group. I'm gonna throw my email up here for anybody that's interested in tapping in to the biggest crypto play ever. Tap in. I would highly suggest that everybody that hears my voice tonight invest in the Oculus Rift or any form of virtual reality glasses before the price of those goes through the roof. And if you are into developing, if you're a developer, right? If you're a dev, I need, you know, I would highly suggest that you hit that email as well, because that's something that we would love to build with you and share with you some of the intellectual property that we have, some of the ideas that we have, and see what we could do collectively working together. Because like Mansa said, it's in the virtual realm. That's where we're going to be able to link up. And one of the things that the documentary pointed out, and it really highlighted some of the things that are going on even today by pointing out what took place decades ago when the Europeans left the big cities and moved into the suburbs. They began to suffer from what was known as isolation. Isolation led to conspiratorial anxiety. Isolation led to people feeling you know, they were alone in the suburbs. And that's when the addictions to Valium started. You know what I mean? They started popping pills and whatnot, and they started to feel like they were alone. And by feeling alone, they started to feel scared. They started to feel anxious. They started to basically give in to anything that, when Ronald Reagan and Nixon and all of them started popping up, talking about being super tough on crime and locking the niggas in the cities up, they were all for it because their anxiety and their loneliness and their quote unquote isolation were doing a number on their on their mental state. Fast forward to where we are with the lockdowns, you have people who are now suffering through isolation. Case in point, why I said when we opened up the show, I had more people this year in particular tell me that they were super depressed and they were going through all kind of mental issues because of isolation, because of the lack of physical contact with brothers and sisters, or being able to go to events, go to parades, go to all of these things, go to school and all kind of shit. And you see the rise in the drugs, you see the rise in opium, you see the rise in people just, abusing all kind of narcotics to escape. You know what I mean? But also on the flip side of that, you're also going to see the boom in the virtual worlds where people are going to pick up those virtual glasses and they're going to tap in to the worlds that are going to be created, because that's the next level. That's social media 3.0. You dig what I'm saying? So that's going to be a rollout. I feel that it's going to come this year. It's already here in the crypto or in the blockchain world, with OpenSea, Decentraland, and other places. But that's where we're going. So like I said, I highly encourage brothers, get ahead of the curve. Don't be a consumer, be a producer. Okay? Don't be a consumer, be a producer. Learn the technology before it becomes mass adopted. You have an opportunity to be on the other side of that fence.
But you brothers, you have a physical date that's coming up as well that the family is happy to, right? You might want to speak on that.
Right. And thank you, Blue, because another thing, and me and you are going to be in Newark, New Jersey, and we're going to be talking. And what we're going to be doing when we pop out for the rest of this season in 2021 is we're going to be actively calling out for our brothers and sisters to meet up in the physical realm so we can network and we could get together, so we could do these things that we're speaking of on the panel tonight, like build for the future, like find out who has the skill sets that we're gonna need to utilize to add to the collective, so we can move this ship forward. We don't want to be stuck like the evergreen ship in the Suez Canal. We want to be able to dock. You know what I mean? We want to be able to come in and deliver the goods and whatnot. So in Chicago, our brother Chicago Crypto is going to be bringing us out to the lovely state of Chicago on the Easter weekend. Remember, Easter landed on 420 when we was in LA, Blue, when Nipsey made his transition.
Yep.
Yeah, and this year it's landing on 4/4. Okay, this year is landing on the first week of April. And it's also going to be a special day for our good brother Chicago Crypto as well. You know what I'm talking about? Salute to him. Magical day that is. You know what I mean? Honors.
Salute. Thank you.
Honest.
Thank you. Definitely the solar return. I am a 44 baby.
Right.
Resonator.
I'm talking about in the flesh.
Flidash. You know what I'm talking about?
To this
In the
day.
flesh. I appreciate that so much, man. Y'all coming out, y'all definitely don't want to miss that. This
Right.
event that we holding, man. This is gonna be epic. And I'm gonna bring my flavor and my sauce to the whole party too.
So
And hold on, because I gotta say this in public. The brother Mansa, and I believe it was 2011, because I was calling it the rule of 44. He's like, you should call it the law of 44. So there you go. You're gonna get your credit. You know what I'm saying?
honest, my brother.
With that. All right.
right. So in the spirit of celebration, because that's what we want to lead in. I don't pull up anywhere without a celebratory type of atmosphere. So in the spirit of celebration, in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, you know what I'm talking about, but also in the spirit of doing, you know what I mean? Not just being a knower and a thinker, but an actual doer. Everybody that you see on this panel tonight is an active doer. You know what I'm talking about? We out here doing a damn thing. You know what I mean? And we're not doing the damn thing to hum a stunt or to style on the collective. We're doing the damn thing to inspire, to spark interest in those who can see themselves in what it is that we're doing and whatnot. And we're highly encouraging and we're inviting. You know what I mean? We're not being standoffish. We're inviting brothers and sisters to be a part of what it is that we're doing, to be a part of this movement, to be a part of this evolution that's been digitized. So on the weekend of April 3rd, going into the 5th, our brother Mansa Isa Muhammad, he's going to open up on the 3rd, and then I will be there on the 4th, and I will also be there on the 5th. We're going to go into some high level Moorish information. We're going to be dealing with, I'm going all the way from 7-Eleven all the way to 2021. One of those days I'll be teaching a 4-hour lecture on the rise of the Moorish Empire, Moors in antiquity, and we're gonna lead it all the way up to Chicago, modern day Chicago, where we see with our good brother Jeff Fort and the movement that they have out there in the Mecca. All right, and then Mansa, tell them what it is that you'll be bringing to them.
Indeed, honest man. Definitely want to give honors to the brother Chicago Bitcoin Bully for inviting me out there, and for you for for all us just connecting. But what I'm touching on is I'm going to be really giving out some of the I wouldn't call it secrets, but I'm giving out the details that people want to know in terms of what the Moorish identity is. How do you put it into practice? How do you utilize it for your benefit, what you have to look out for, what not to deal with. You know what I mean? And this is all coming from experience. This is 15 years plus experience. This is bumps and bruises experience. This is learning how things work through trial and error experience. So I can I can teach people on a real deep level how the history connects to the law, how you're supposed to trigger certain mechanisms in the law, how to do practical things like make the changes you need to make in the system so you can, maneuver in commerce a certain kind of way. So I'm getting into the real details of what people want to know. You know what I mean? Inshallah.
Facts. Indeed. Super facts. So for anybody in the Detroit, Chicago, Midwestern region, I mean, look, once again, you could be from El Segundo, fly in. The address will be revealed to all of the ticket holders. Okay. That is something that we, just keeping to the brothers and sisters that are part of what it is that we're doing. But just know that we will be in the Chicago area. Brother Crypto, do you want to add on?
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be in a very, very neutral area. I know it's a lot of negative media that gets put out there about Chicago. Man, for those that do show up and pop out, and for those that have been to any of my events, y'all already know how it goes. It's nice, it's neutral, it's positive, it's smoke friendly for those that want to smoke. We are gonna have refreshments, it's gonna be fruit. I'm gonna make sure that any and everybody that comes there is very comfortable, very comfortable.
Right.
The location will, like he said, only be given out to those that are part and parcel of the event. On top of that, those that do send any type of funds in, please make sure that you leave an email. Please make sure that you leave an email. You will not be able to be contacted any other way. So, just man, come out. I'm gonna make sure everything is well, and I got something special for everybody that comes out too.
That's a fact. So the ticket will be $50 per day or $125 for 3 days. We're making this extremely affordable. Extremely affordable. Buy the fucking dip. Pardon my French. Buy the dip, my brothers. And I ain't talking about Dipset. You know what I mean? The Cash App is $Sovereign Money. And like the brother said, put 44 more in the description along with your email. Or if you can't fit both, put your email and we will be able to contact you with all of your information. And I look forward to meeting up with our brothers and sisters from the Shy, from out there, the same way that they pulled up in October when me and Blue Pill were out there. Salute to everybody that came and supported us. We look forward to continuing that rally of support and love and camaraderie and whatnot. I will have multiple products in the building. And shit, you might get a performance. Who knows? You know what I mean? We might do something special that weekend. Who knows? It depends. But we're there to celebrate our good brother, you know what I mean, for his monumental solar return for the work that he's put in this year. We got to edify and we have to celebrate and we have to be there for each other and hold each other up because memories don't live like people do. You know what I mean? One of the things that I always regret when I look back on 2010, 11, and 12 and 13 is the shit that I didn't do. You know what I mean? The things that I didn't do and the people that I didn't link up with when I had the opportunity to do such. Some of the elders that are not no longer with us. I still beat myself up about things like that. So, take advantage, of what it is taking place, pull up. Like we were saying earlier, this is a time to reconnect. We open up our own city. You know what I mean? This is phase 3. We're not waiting for nobody to say shit is open. We opening it up. You know what I mean? So that's what's up. And on the 3rd, right? For my brothers and sisters in the NYC tri-state area, Connecticut, New Jersey, NYC, Philadelphia, me and Blue Pillar are going to be in Newark, New Jersey on the 3rd from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's going to be the metaphysical market, crypto and crystals. You dig? Me and Blue Pill will be in the building along with other presenters, and it's going to be a full marketplace. So we're going to be celebrating our good brother Divine. He's going to be opening up shop out there. He is one of the top jewelers in the community. Blue.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be at the Aquafit Water Bar. All right. Do you have that address? Is that 347? 347 Central Avenue in Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Ross Baraka and all of the Newark family. Every single time we went to Newark, it was nothing but love. You know what I mean? It's
Major.
weird. Yeah, it's weird that they be making people scared of certain areas that they call high, that are like highly volatile. Everywhere I'm talking about, from Baltimore to Chicago to Newark to Philly. I'm talking about every single place that we've been going to that's known as the trenches. That's where the highest to LA or on Vernon and Crenshaw. That's where the most love is.
It's a fact.
Unadulterated. I'm talking about pure love. So shout out
And
to the new.
yeah, it's a crypto 101. It's just
Wherever
answering
we at in
questions.
high amounts, they're gonna call that dangerous. That go back to the slave laws. Like 2 or more. If you had 2,
Right.
If you have 2 or more gathered, yeah. But it's crypto 101. It's just answering questions that people might have, giving education, because the people that are also being forgotten is the elders, you know what I'm saying? Or the people that
Right.
are over 40 and over 50 who are digitally challenged, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody's really building a bridge for them. And I want to speak to the community on that side, that even deals with crystals. I want them to start looking at crystals as a viable currency. It's coming. You feel me? Crystals
Right.
appreciate. They have their commodities. They have their own market. So we need to start looking at that. Get ahead of that. You feel me? And that's gonna leverage into I'll be going to Arizona to the mineral show, the gem show. You know what I mean? So
So
it's just about maximizing these potentials. You know what I mean? And looking at the things that you do and that you have around you as currency, right? I'm looking at all of these coins and all of these use cases. You feel me? I mean, they creating coins out of whatever for whatever.
or whatever. They ain't leaving nothing on the table.
You dig what I'm saying?
You
So
know?
yeah,
Do you know where the family could pay for their tickets, or is it
that's a free
at the
event.
door?
It's
Oh,
a
it's a
free
free look, free
event.
99, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? You can't beat that. Free 99. Come as you were. Just pull up. Have some shekels to break bread with the vendors. You know what I mean? And we look forward to seeing you. And on Wednesday, right before the whole thing gets kicked off on the 31st, I will be doing an online workshop on Zoom.
Yeah,
The
rest in peace
evolution.
to Nipsey.
Yes, and that's on Nipsey's anniversary, his death anniversary. That's the day that the whole shit shifted for us. I'm gonna be doing this, and I'm gonna dedicate it or livicate it to the brother's memory, the God Nip. And we'll be doing the evolution. Will be digitized. It will be hosted by me. Topics discussed: decentralized autonomous organizations, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, non-fungible tokens. And that also will be a one-on-one just to help walk the family through to the basics of this technology, and I'm going to be teaching it the way that I teach my information. I did the evolution will be digitized in 2014. I also did another one in 2019, I believe. So this will be my latest iteration. As you know, this technology, it has, when I did it in 14, it was like, what is he talking about? But now it's fully understood because this is fully imagined. This reality is now amongst us. So I will have fun breaking this down. And like I said, shout out to everybody that has already copped a ticket. I look forward to building with y'all. It will start 9 p.m. Eastern and it will end hopefully at midnight. But if we have to go into any, further into the hours, it will be recorded. So it will be viewable to anybody who bought their ticket afterwards. Love and light to the fam. All right. So that's our commercial for now. Okay. And we'll also one more. I don't want to leave this out. Me and Blue are going to be in New York City for the New York City family, Brooklyn to be exact. April 16th to the 18th in New York City. We're going to be tapping back into our elevation series that we've been doing. This is the third one that I'm a part of. I believe this is Blue's second one. We were just in Puerto Rico in December before Puerto Rico became Atlanta, and it was a beautiful event. It was very very, the people who attended it, the students, they were very very, they came and got what they basically came to receive. They were blessed with a lot of information. It was a lot of downloads. Shout out to Supernova Slum, Billionaire PA, everybody that contributed. You know what I mean? Mama Tassili, Secret, all of the people who were there, Chef Aki. There's so many people that were in Puerto Rico that made it a monumental event. So we're gonna keep that momentum. Our sister Karma, our sister Rain, me and Blue, come learn how to attract money, new businesses, new mates, new healthy lifestyles, etc. You know what I'm talking about? We invited Derek Jackson. If he pulls up, it's a movie. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna be there. So go to the Eventbrite, put elevation in the search engine, and you'll be able to get your tickets for that as well. So yeah, that's what we have coming up. April is gonna be lit. You feel me? So with that being said, I want to close out our conversation tonight. I would love to be on this panel for another 2 hours. I still got many more questions, but we'll come back. We'll come back. We'll do this again before we go to Chicago. We'll pop back up and we'll do this one more time. If not, we'll do it afterwards and we'll prepare for the future because it doesn't end, it just begins right there. So I want to close this out by asking everybody on the panel to leave the family with some thoughtful words, some things that they could basically, take to the bank with them, and also leave ways to contact you and let them know what you have coming up outside of what we're doing together in the near future. Start with you, Mansa.
Indeed, honors. Again, I just want to start by saying, honors for, inviting me to speak and, for bringing me out to Chicago to share with the family out there. You guys could, well, what I want to say, first of all, to leave everybody off on this note, I just think it's time. I think we got everything we need. I think we just have to come together, create the foundations, the formulas, the systems for us to come together, because we got everything we need between us. We got the brilliance, we got the money, we have the resources, we have the capabilities. So I just think that with that, we could do a lot. So that's what I would like to leave the family on that. And I would, you could also reach me on Instagram at Mansa the Moor. That's THEMOOR. You could check out my YouTube channel. I just released a series called the Murakush Minutes. We still have more videos that we're releasing for it. And it breaks down the basics of understanding the Moorish identity, heritage, and some of the legal and political aspects of it. You can also check out my latest book, From Slaves to Kings.com. Very, very good book. It's like a blueprint for brothers and sisters, mainly brothers, for the kings. Just to give you a blueprint on how to plan out, your strategy and reaching for your kingship. So with that, I digress, man. I just want to give honors to the audience for coming to spend the night with us and discuss this, and to the panelists. Honors. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, bro.
Man, I want to thank you, brothers, once again. KTL Media, Blue, Red. Number one, for introducing me to this conscious community by way of y'all platform. I want to thank all the family that's tuned in and really taking advantage of the information that we've been putting out over the past couple of years. Because I know if you put action behind the things that you hear, you're gonna get some type of result. You know what I mean? Everything ain't always be a good result. You got to have a balance. You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? I'll leave the people with this. You're not going to get a chance to take care and take control of your own financial affairs like this. Not in our lifetime. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. It's not even an opinion. It's a fact. So
that's a fact.
Research as much as you can about this new money matrix, this new financial paradigm. Specifically, research decentralized finance as much as possible, because that's the infrastructure that our future seeds are going to be operating with as far as handling outside of just the commercial affairs, even though everything's going to be commercial in nature. Study that specific subject as much as possible, because it's going to open the doors to the NFT world, the banking world, the trading world, the commodity world, the digital asset world, the real estate world. It's all encompassed within that one subject. For those that want to follow, you can check me out on IG, Chicago Crypto Block Bully _ under each word. Brother Mansa, it's definitely been a pleasure being able to meet you, build with you, and be able to put something together tangible for the people to come get some information with. So it's definitely high honors on my side to be on the panel with you once again with the other brothers. What else? There was one more thing I wanted to really leave the people with, man. I digress. I lost my train of thought, man. But
they
love everybody on the panel, man.
Right. They want to know both of you brothers' Cash App.
My Cash App is Sovereign Money, SOVEREIGN Cash App, Sovereign Money, and it's gonna say I am the message I bring when you in the name. Thank you.
Sure, it's Mansa.
Mine's is $ Mansa, MANSA, Muhammed, MUHAMMAD. So honest, appreciate everything for like I said, honest to all the brothers, man, and all the sisters and everybody that's in the audience.
So
all right.
As it's being stated, financial literacy is the order of the day. Financial literacy is the order of the day. And then, you move into what the brother's saying, learning decentralized finance. Understand the foundation of it, what it represents, and why you'll see them respond to it the way that they will. So you won't get lost in the source of what it is that you're seeing, because this is when they're coming out with the dragnets.
Right.
Attempting to catch people with lack of knowledge who are not going to make it through the pillars, through the, through that victory lap.
Right.
So a combination of all of these, different aspects, like the brother Mansa saying, bringing all of these things together as an organization together, and then physical bodies coming together to represent the unification of these principles to form a body. That's what this represents. And like
Indeed.
Chicago said, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, right? When opportunity is knocking, don't knock opportunity.
Mm.
You feel me?
Hold on. I like that. I like that. When
Yeah.
opportunity is knocking, don't knock opportunity.
So if nothing else, you can utilize even information that we are giving you as cautionary tales as well, right? Because some people's situation starts from, damn, if I would have listened when I was told, don't be that person.
Don't be him.
Don't be him. Take this information, do the research, but more importantly, apply it, activate it, make it action, right? These are action items. You have to activate them and move on them.
Right.
So you position yourself for true sovereignty. And with that, I say peace, love, and light.
And
Honor.
I gotta plug a couple people real quick, Red. I gotta give a
Yes.
shout out to Brother Naughty, Brother
Not it.
Slice X, Brother
Yes.
J Crypto, and the Sister Paige Flowers, man. They
Right.
Oh,
out there doing the work in this new money matrix right now. I gotta give a shout out to those four individuals, man.
they are
Word.
the front line. You know, it's like the people with the lawnmowers. You just bought. You know what I mean? You just get into the uninhabited land, and now you laying out what it is that's going to be order, foundation, right?
Right.
So they are trailblazing in the space, right? And showing that any and everything that we can conceive and think of, there's a way to create it.
That's a fact. Shout
So
out to Iggy,
yeah,
J Crypto, Naughty, Slice, God. What's the sister's name?
It's Paige Flowers. It's Paige Flowers.
Paige Flowers. You know,
doing it.
salute, doing a thing. You know what I mean? Salute to all of those in that space holding it down. You know, we look forward to, we see you at the platinum party. You know, we are in everybody's corner that is not knocking the opportunity and answering the call. It's gonna take a few good men and women, like Blue Pill said, to pave the road less traveled, clear the cobblestone. So when the family comes in droves, it'll be smooth paving, it'll be a yellow brick. You know what I mean? You'll be able to glide and strive, you know, to the finish line, to the, like Nipsey said, the marathon continues. And it's just so ironic, 2 years after this man's ascension, you know what I mean, we see our situation the way that we see it now, because
And
this is not a
then
new conversation.
we have to acknowledge the conversation went national, then it went global, right? At his ascension. Because
Global.
him being a Leo, he was a sun, right? It was like an exploded sun. People finally saw his star. They bore witness to his presence in his absence.
That's a fact.
And the things that he was enraptured or the things that he was robed with became now seen Sabi, crypto, entrepreneurialism. You feel me? Somebody who was able to, you know, you can lead a game, but what if you turn around and you're the person now looking at the game, but they're looking at you as the example and you delegating with your people, right? So he represents like a whole new dimension. We never seen nobody that was able to transmutate in that space.
Right. He's a gang leader for a whole new gang. You know what I'm talking about? He's a gang leader for those that are out there, gang, in the economic space, in the financial realm, in the crypto space.
In
You know what I'm talking
DeFi,
about? Huh?
in the DeFi,
In a DeFi. And he's he's in the astral realms. And that's a true telltale sign of an ascension. Niggas die every day, B, but everybody don't ascend. So when you ascend, the seeds that you planted grow into flowers and they bear fruit. You know what I'm talking about? That's true ascension. So this man has truly ascended. And we said it from day one when it went down. We knew what we were looking at. This man it's called Ascension Protocol. So we are living in his dreams. And I give thanks for that because it broke us out of other dreams that we were living in. There were money, clothes, bank rolls, and holes and other things that served this term, but it has there's time for something else to come to fruition. So, like I said, please pay attention to the conversations that are being had, not just tonight. It's being had by the brothers and sisters on this panel and others that we have named, because we were here about 8, 7, 6 years ago. We were talking about Bitcoin, and I've had the opportunity to be contacted by new millionaires. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas who went from ashy to super classy as a result of listening to what we were saying and having the funds and the wherewithal to take the information and apply it, right?
Right.
New millionaires. You feel me? And that's a good feeling. And what they did is they did not get boggled down in the quote unquote conspiratorial realm. They did not get boggled down in the greatest mind fuck. You know what I'm talking about? They were able to see past that. They were able to be visionaries to know that there was a decade. They were able to plan for 10 years ahead. They didn't even know that they were planning for 10 years ahead when they bought the Bitcoins that were at $100 when we were talking about it. You know what I mean? So they were able to put their money where their minds were, and as a result of being proactive, they won. So we all have that opportunity to win. You don't know when this shit is gonna really go 10 times. You don't know when it's gonna hit the moon, but be prepared. You know what I'm talking about? Prime example of it. And I said before, people who got, people who got some cold wallets, they're not the ones that are out here telling you all of this stupid shit about what crypto isn't and all of this dumb stuff. That's only the people who didn't invest. And I understand the frustration. You know what I'm talking about? But niggas is sitting on them coins like Scrooge McDuck. They're quiet. They out there, they with the rest of the whales, eating up the little fish. That they could drop 50 or 500 Ethereum on a Beeble painting because they only paid $1 for them shits. It's different. It's a different conversation. So let's learn. And for the brothers and sisters that are out there who missed the way, but you mad deep and you mad smart, we need you in the creative space. Write a fucking book, my niggas. Write a script. You know what I'm talking about? Get into Afrofuturism. Do something with your intellect other than allowing the quote unquote ghosts of conspiracy eat your fucking brain, because it's not getting you anywhere. We need more people to be more creative, because in creativity, that's where our billions lay. You know what I mean? It's the people who created these coins had to be creative. To write a white paper, you have to have a creative, futuristic mind. So don't separate yourself from what's taking place. See yourself in everything that's taking place and claim it. That would be my word for the family on this late night. And I would say, let's spring forward into the spring and enjoy this second quarters, because it's all for the taking.
And on the last note, uh, last Friday, I was supposed to publish a book at midnight with a company called Publica. Now, Publica is a company, a blockchain.
You went froze, bro. Blue. 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 Oh man, what conspiracy theory I want to hear right now? I got a few of them. Huh? Who got him? Was it Prince Charles? Who got him? You know. But yeah, you know, here you go. There you go, Blue. My bad.
Hello?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to go through Publica, and Publica offers an ICO, and they are a company on blockchain. So to me, reading what it is that they offer, I'm like, this is a revolution in book publishing, because you direct the customer, and your customer is now an investor. So they get to participate on both ends, or you give them an option, right?
Mm.
You've created an entire new market of how a person is engaging with a book, because now it's an investment vehicle, and on the secondary market, they can upward charge whatever it is they want to charge. You feel me? Or they can hold on to it. But now you take the whole concept of, yo, let me borrow that. It's no more of that. Like, you don't borrow it, you buy it on the secondary market. And every time that that book gets pushed around, the person who wrote it is getting a residual.
Facts.
So this is something that's going to feed you forever, right? This totally changes the dynamic. You have a
Right.
direct relationship now with the people who you're affecting with your writing, because they have direct access to you at all times, and you got an open wallet.
Mm.
You can have a tip button after every chapter.
So, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. For my rappers that are out there, the brothers that are mean with the pen, you would advise them to get into writing books as well. Penning their memoirs.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the revolutionary aspect of, remember, the printing press was created in 1440, right? And it arguably, they said, was the most revolutionary creation
Time.
of its time,
Right.
because it brought about the printing of books that changed everything, right? So that institution has to be able to be disrupted, because it's never been updated or upgraded. You feel me?
Right.
So this opportunity, I clearly saw this was the opportunity of a lifetime, to say, okay, this is how we're going to release the book me and the brother Al Kebalan 44 just wrote, Convos with the Cosmos, only to
Right.
find out that Publica is a ship with no crew,
Mm.
right? The
Right.
thing with
Right.
these companies is them, some of them shot their load too soon. They had genius ideas, and they had the technology that is the disruptive technology, but the audience was not primed yet to engage with them on a level that would sustain them. So they came before the wave. You know what I'm saying? When
Right.
the wave came in, they wasn't there. So that forced, then I went to the Telegram, and I started doing all of my research. And then people was like, yo, they abandoned this project. They haven't been around in a minute. We've been looking for them.
Right. Right.
So that forced me then to go and create my own means and method to do it, because it's too good of an idea to leave on the motherfucking the cutting floor.
Right.
Right? So these opportunities are going to be afforded to us to say, look, would you walk away from an opportunity, once again, of a lifetime, to try something else?
I can
Mm.
say
Because
something to
we're
that.
we're, we're gonna we're gonna always approach this particular area and see new ways to do things. Like, nah, this shit got to be done. If we tweak it a little bit this way, you know what I mean? It'll operate a little bit more efficiently for us.
Right.
So I do have the book coming. It's going to be featured as an NFT in 3 parts. And those who acquire the 3 parts, right, only thing they got to pay us is for shipping. And we ship them a hardcover, right? And now they have novelty pieces where their value just went out of the roof.
Mm.
And they can get it quantumly, because they could do it more ways than one. That physical book that they have goes up in value, because it itself is non-fungible in a physical realm.
Dope.
So there's just so many ways to get creative in this space. That's what I'm saying. As far as you can stretch your mind, there's a way to complement that in this realm, utilizing
all of the various technologies that them white papers for them coins represent.
Right. You were saying, Mansa?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Blue was saying about books. Like I've been writing books as for since I was about 23, and I've been self-publishing on the net since then. And I can tell you, man, you know, is once you develop a base of people who buy your books, then when you come out with saying that you're going to drop a book, then people pre-order it. So that idea is genius. You know what I mean? To get into the crypto space, because if you're an author, like there's some authors, you know, they struggle, whatever the case, but the bottom line is it's always a great source of income. And I would tell anybody, please get into publishing, you know, publish that book, write that script, write that novel. You know what I mean? And it's a good book to have called oh man, I can't remember it right now, but it shows you how to write a novel. You know what I mean? I'll send it to y'all. You can probably share it with your audience. But I just want to add that to it. I just want to add that though to it though, you know.
Definitely. Well, fellas, you know, it's been a pleasure. You know what I'm talking about? I look forward to repeating this again in the very near future. I'm very hype about Chicago. You know what I mean? Get out there and do the damn thing. Somebody asked if I published a book about the Moors, I will have that available when I hit Chicago as well. It won't be in the physical. I'll have it on a jump drive. You know what I mean? I have a digital version of it for Moorish history. Yeah, 666 pages. So yeah, I'll see y'all when I get out there. Melanin Mondays for everybody on the line. See us again on Melanin Mondays. That'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern on the same channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, share this broadcast, you know, spread it around, let the family know what it is that's taking place. All right. And yeah, with that being said, love and light to the family. All right.
Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.